All right, guys, we're doing something different today. We're leaving LSU's football parking lot, and we're doing our instant analysis live while we drive home from the stadium. And we still got a lot of work to do, and so it might shake a little bit, depending on how jerky my ride is. And it's going to be real jerky when I go over these railroad tracks out here at the football facility. All right, guys. LSU spring game. This instant analysis report is brought to you by the Smoky Investment Team. Preston Guy with me. Buddy Sanji's got a wedding this afternoon, but I know he was paying attention, and we'll get him later in the week. But I think the spring game is what we thought it was. Brian Kelly talked about in post game that he felt that the offensive line had made some strides, and that was their emphasis. Quarterback play, in no way does he feel that any of the quarterbacks separated themselves. I know during the spring game, a lot of people were, did Walker Howard get hurt because he disappeared for a good portion of the middle of the game, got some more reps at the end of the game. But I think all the quarterbacks did a little bit of something better. And Preston, you think Nussmeier had the best day?
Nussmeier definitely had the best day. I don't know if he's the best player. Maybe some pocket presence, things I would have liked to see him work on, but he had a drive where he looked just outstandingly sharp, throwing the ball down the field with some serious velocity. He connected with Jack Besh on the end zone, rolling out to his right. Lots of talent for Nussmeier. You just wonder, can he stay calm, cool, and collected in the pocket? Because that was a huge issue for him last year. Miles Brennan also looked sharp passing the ball. He was 11 for 17 for 99 yards and a touchdown. All the quarterbacks had one touchdown throwing and 0 interceptions. That's notable on 49 passes. We saw 0 interceptions. That's a good thing to me. So I'm not sure who really your best quarterback was. I'll tell you this. Nussmeier and Brennan looked pretty comparable passing the ball, I thought. And who didn't look comparable was Jayden Daniels throwing the ball. That's not to say Jayden Daniels is got a leg down on the competition or anything, because running the ball, he was incredibly dynamic. I mean, he had 7 carries for 34 yards, but that's 2 sacks in there. And I think we all know if it were a full contact game, he would have busted it for much, much longer than he is truly an elite runner. However, passing the ball, you got to get more than 33% of your passes complete. You got to do a little better decision making. He had 68 yards. Okay. 39 of that came on 1 jump ball to Brian Thomas, which was a beautifully thrown rainbow arc on a fade route. But at the same time, it was a 50-50 ball, and you threw it up to a 6'5" receiver. So you'd like to see some more consistency with decision-making and accuracy out of Jayden Daniels. However, running the ball, truly elite. He did take 2 sacks early in the game when that defensive line was just hot to trot, getting after him, and he couldn't quite break away and make a play out of it. But you do think that those legs are going to open up some serious things in the offense. You just don't want to be so one-dimensional that you can't pass.
I think when it comes to Jayden Daniels, it is what it's been all spring in my mind. I think of the 4 quarterbacks, he's going to be the least impressive throwing the football. But does that necessarily mean that he's is he the guy that's in 4th place? No, he's not.
Right.
He can run the football. He can do some things. When plays break down, he can make some big plays happen if he can avoid the mistakes. I think it's obviously, look, they've got a big internally. I don't know how they grade these quarterbacks and who's ahead of where. Is there any chance that Nussmeier is actually running second behind somebody? Is there a chance that he's actually first in their grades? But if he's a solid third, then you start making that, it ain't all about just what happened today. It's what he did the entire spring.
And leadership goes into this.
But you've got a May 1st deadline.
Yeah.
And so that's, something we've talked about on the shows. Guys, do me a favor if you're watching this, because we're rushing home. We got no player interviews. We got Brian Kelly. When I'm on my way back to the office, I'll have full Brian Kelly up for you guys. And we got loads of recruiting stuff. Our live thread on our Tiger Den message board is full of recruiting stuff, and I've got a lot more. Preston's got a couple of pages of names that we've got to get worked on, that we personally saw at the game. And I've got more stuff coming as well. And in pregame warmups, I even put in a commitment prediction on the Tiger Den Premium message board. So you're going to want to go check that out. Feel real darn good about a 2023 prospect that was on campus this weekend. And another thing we saw late, I saw late Shelton Sampson did get there. Saw him as well as the two official visitors, Dante Moore. You guys saw me tweet that out. But I think going back to the game, I think John Emery being out there, I know a lot of people question him being out there. Why not just sit him out? But I like what Brian Kelly had to say about, look, the kid is a running back. He's going to be injuries. He's going to never be 100% like most running backs during a football season. He didn't get to play last year, and he needs the reps. He needs to fight through the pain. And Brian Kelly said he was proud of him for that. So,
yep. And he looks good.
Yeah,
he looks physically intimidating. He only got 4 carries. He did get 24 yards on those 4 carries. So I would say John Emery is going to be your front runner for the starting back today. Someone commented about please improve play calling today. Look, it's a spring game, y'all. I mean, you probably had 10, 15 rotating plays you were using at most. What stood out to me is that they weren't afraid to get vertical with the passing attack. I liked the passing attack. I mean, we saw 49 passes today, and it wasn't like a bunch of checkdowns and throwing to the tight ends. I mean, your leading receiver, you had Besh, Neighbors up there. You got,
how many did Neighbors have at the end?
Neighbors had 2 catches, 41 yards.
My prediction pregame was that Neighbors would be your leading receiver, but
yeah,
and so it was Besh.
It was Besh with six targets, 6 catches, 56 yards.
Taylor.
Boy, Jack Besh is just Mr. Reliable. Let me tell you that. I mean, he runs clean routes. He got 2 touchdowns today. He gets open, and he catches the ball. Mr. Reliable. Maybe you're Mr. Unreliable today. You know who had the most targets? Kyron Lacey, the transfer. And he had 9 targets and 1 grab. And I'm going to be honest, a bunch of the passes were catchable. Maybe not all easily catchable, but some of them were easily catchable. Some of them were straight up dropped. So disappointing spring performance for Kyron Lacey, but we'll see how he gets it together in fall camp.
Yeah, I think overall it's a great weekend. So a lot of former players. Tyrann Mathieu down in pregame, had a chance to talk to him a little bit. You guys saw me tweet out a photo of him. Eddie Kinnison, Kevin Falk was there. Joe Burrow, of course, was. If you can tell, I've got a nice sunburn. I got a nice sunburn at last Saturday's scrimmage, and I got some more today because I stayed out on the field, just really thinking that they were going to do something with Joe Burrow, bring him out, introduce him, have him wave him, Jamar Chase, and whoever else. There was a group of former players there, but I was told that. He didn't want to do anything. So I don't know if they asked him, or it could be, look, you've got that big Cincinnati Saints game. Depending on what night that lands, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be coming to New Orleans because the word we're getting from Saints media today, New Orleans media, talking to Ed Daniels and them. They don't think, there a lot of scuttlebutt was the Bengals Saints game was going to end up being played in London. That doesn't look like that's going to happen now. So it will be Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and others, La'el Collins, Tyler Shelvin. We'll see what happens with Thaddeus Moss if he's active. But
you going to go to that game?
Oh yeah, they're going to be in New Orleans. So
right, what colors?
So my point is, why introduce him today when you can hold that in your back pocket for, depending on when that gets put in the schedule. Maybe LSU has a home game and they get to sneak over and get introduced, during the first quarter of a Saturday night game. Depending on if that Bengals Saints game is either a late Sunday night or even a Monday night game. Who knows?
Yeah.
But so that's my hunch. Having Joe Burrow back when you want to introduce him, you really want to be in front of 100,000.
Yeah.
So maybe that was part of the thinking. But no doubt Brian Kelly talked about what it meant to have them there in the program. All the L Club events, golf tournament yesterday, and so that was big. I understand the replay on SEC Network will be Wednesday night. I think. Check the schedule. I know I set my DVR already. It's either 7 or 8 o'clock Wednesday night. It'll play in its entirety because there's some things that I want to look at that I didn't get to see, but it looked to me like Will Campbell had a really fantastic day, and Brian Kelly did single him out. So Armani Goodwin, I was standing in the back of the end zone and watched him power in. His legs don't stop. Such good balance from him. He likes to drive those legs, and you think he's down and he's not. And so I think Armani Goodwin had a very good spring, and I think his good spring might have had a little something to do with Corey Kiner. So that's a little bit of something there.
Trey Bradford and Armani Goodwin, they both look good. They're quick backs, And I liked the running game today. It didn't look anything like a Les Miles running game. It was twists, stunts, little misdirection, not like a ton of misdirection, but little, things to catch people off guard. They ran out of multiple formations. It doesn't look like a predictable vanilla running game. It really looks like it's going to be a dynamic running offense with a lot of different elements and components and different ways of doing stuff. So I'm not really upset with what I saw out of the offense. Also considered this is about the most vanilla the offense will look. So not upset with that.
Well, and the biggest thing when you come out of a spring game is that there was nobody getting carted off the field. That is that makes the game a success. Period.
I do think I saw Jeray Jenkins walk off a little bit.
Yeah, well, that happened right in front of me. He landed on his shoulder. I don't know what the seriousness of that was, but I don't consider that to be catastrophic. Even I think he's going to be okay. But he did have it happened right in front of me. I was right on that filming right there, and he had a delayed. It was almost like a 3-second delay before he realized that he was in pain.
Mm-hmm.
But this incident analysis practice report brought to you by the Smoky Investment Team. Over 45 years of combined experience in handling their clients' financial needs. In this financial environment, experience does matter. Call Bart or Brian Smoky at 318-448-3201. That's 318-448-3201. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA/SIPC. We want to thank Bart Smoky for sponsoring all of our post-practice and spring game reports, incident analysis reports throughout spring football. Bart's a good friend of ours, and right there in Alexandria, if you have any financial needs, give them a holler. Also, too, guys, if you're enjoying this, and a lot of you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscription button and the notification bell. We're going to be continually loading up new things there, and we've got big plans for the upcoming football season. Now that spring football is over, I'm already charting a path for the spring evaluation period. I'm going to be going out to a ton of high schools, seeing spring practices, getting film of recruits and interviews. So we're going to have that all for you on tigerbait.com. Some will be up on our YouTube channel, and the other one will be in the premium section on Tigerbait. So go subscribe, choose the annual package. Like I always tell you, it's less expensive to do the annual than it is the monthly. You only get billed one time a month, and you're basically getting 3 months free versus doing the monthly charge. So we want to have you as a part of our Tigerbait community, and we're growing by leaps and bounds. And thanks to all you guys for spreading the word.
You know what a good sign that you have a good vertical offensive attack going downfield with it? When the 2 leading tacklers are safeties. You had Jay Ward, 10 tackles. Jay Ward looks like he's going to continue and build upon last season. And then Matthew Langlois.
I was about to say Langlois.
3-3-7 boy.
I was watching him today. And
he was playing pretty well.
Yep. Well, no, Langlois is going to be 225. That's
Is
New
that
Rose.
A 225 boy?
Yeah, New Rose.
Right. That's the wrong direction.
Now they do play a lot of 3-3-7 kids. Point Capee does. In that district. But
got a little directionally challenged there.
Come on, man. Baton Rouge kids supposed to know False River 225.
I did play in New Roads a couple times too, but hey, you get those little community towns mixed up sometimes. But look,
Esteban's in the house.
What's up, Esteban?
I've seen Esteban in a while. Lake Carter, in there. I'm seeing a bunch of guys. We apologize. I'm seeing some of the comments.
It's a little tough
while we drive, and I hope as I hit bumps, we're on Segan Lane now.
Your best unit on the team.
I hope you guys don't need Dramamine watching this.
Your best unit on the team may very well be your defensive line. Mason Smith, 2 sacks today, and let me tell you, that guy looks physically intimidating.
Dude, he looks great. And Quincy Wiggins walked right past me. I was at the shoot when they were running out.
Yeah, he looks good too.
Man, Quincy Wiggins looks good.
Well, I thought after his little All-American game incident, they were going to be slow and ease him out because, he could have hurt himself in that little accident, but he looks ready to play.
That is the most amazing. There was some divine intervention.
Absolutely.
On that. I still am amazed by that. Saw Emery Jones out there with Bo Bordelon. Brett was there.
Oh, by the way, I got to talk to Bo. Well, I got to bump into Bo Bordelon, and that guy, he's got giant hands. He is physical.
I didn't ask him what he's weighing now, but I bet you if you told me he was 305 now, I would believe you.
Emery Jones says he's 320 now.
Yeah.
And Emery Jones has cut back on weight, and he looks very lean. That's a consistent pattern I'm seeing so far as this team. Is a lot of guys physically developing. A lot of that baby weight on Emery Jones, it ain't there.
He
looks slim.
I tell you who else. I thought Tyge Hill looked good today. He looked really lean. Tyge Hill looked the best I've ever seen him. And of course, he'll arrive in June with the rest of the freshmen that weren't midterm grads. But I thought he looked really good. He told me he shed 15 pounds, and I think he's also converted some of his weight to muscle. So
BJ Ojolari, he's added some muscle.
Yeah.
He was a little too thin last year, I thought, to just be an every down defensive end. I think he's gonna look pretty good. He got a sack today. Bryce Langston, a highly recruited kid who we hadn't heard much from, got a sack today.
By the way, guys, I'm all over the map. We're talking football, and then I'm going recruiting, and we're going back and forth. But it's dawning on me today when we started seeing who was there, putting together the list, and we've got more names coming. The number of offensive linemen that were there today might be one of the bigger numbers I've ever seen for a spring game. And you had offensive linemen from Georgia. One of them got an offer just an hour ago. Check my Twitter feed. Alabama, Texas. There was offensive linemen from everywhere. So I was impressed by some of the guys that Coach Davis and the recruiting staff had coming in. So,
yeah. Jayden Jones was there.
Jayden Jones.
He's a big boy.
From De La Salle.
Yep.
Someone asked me about him the other day. I think he's athletic, but he needs some time. And so the question is, if you're going to take a big offensive line class, can you take a flyer on a guy like Jayden Jones at the end, knowing that he's going to need a couple of years or maybe 3 years to develop? But he's got the size. He's not carrying a lot of bad weight. And I know a lot of head football coaches and offensive line coaches would love to have the numbers, particularly, dude, if you get a 25+7, then maybe that's where Jayden Jones comes in, where you get an additional group of numbers, and then you can take a flyer on a kid like him.
Yep.
So,
although I think that you're still going to want to look for a center. I think center could.
Oh yeah.
That's a position that did not look too great. I'd like to go back and see the film.
But we didn't see Dellinger.
I would say, did he play at all today?
I think it was just Martinez.
It was Martinez and what's his name? 69. Charles Turner. And Charles Turner had a really ugly snap. Really ugly, that resulted in a turnover.
Yeah.
And Turner. I think Charles Turner did, right. And I think that's a position where if you can find a center who lost out a battle somewhere, who's just serviceable, ready to play, you really want to bring in a true center to this team. That's probably the biggest gaping hole on the team right now.
What's Cole Taylor's stat line?
Cole Taylor. Give me one.
I thought he had 6 receptions today.
No, he did have. He had 4. 4 for 22 yards.
Okay.
So, I mean, they incorporated him in, but they were doing more dink and dunk type stuff, which is good. I love using tight ends in short passing game.
Dude, there was multiple tight ends there today.
Although he might have been the only tight end to catch a pass today.
I think I'm going to have enough recruiting stuff here. I might actually do a war room. So
they actually threw the ball to the running backs a ton today. I mean, a ton. A lot of wheel routes and that type of stuff today that we saw. So we'll have to see. Hey, who else was a big recruit was on campus?
If we weren't live right now, I'd pull in a Chick-fil-A, but I'm not going to do that to the audience.
Why not? Just do it.
No, I'm not doing it.
I want some Chick-fil-A. Dante Moore. We didn't even mention him.
Oh, yeah. I saw him. I tweeted the little video of him giving the L, and the Notre Dame people. The Notre Dame people are very nervous.
He met with the GOAT.
Yeah.
He got a picture with him.
When the Notre Dame people saw Dante with Joe Burrow and those tweets last night, that's making them real nervous. But my Notre Dame source saw a photo of Brian Kelly out there on the field. And he goes, "Yeah, it looks like he's put on some weight since he's got down there." So they're getting a little salty up in South Bend.
Boy, there's been a lot of salt thrown toward Baton Rouge since Brian Kelly got hired here.
Yeah.
I mean,
see any comments?
No. You know what I want to hear from y'all? If anybody, I know.
Yeah. What about I see a comment asking about Mike Jones. You got to?
Yeah. Give me. Mike Jones did make a nice tackle that I saw. He made a third down stop. Let's see here. Mike Jones, who? He had 4 tackles, 3 solo though, which is really good. 75% of his tackles are open field by himself. 1 was for a loss. So I think Mike Jones, real solid outing out there. Of course, Greg Penn was your leading tackler for linebackers with 6, but only 1 was solo. So I think Mike Jones is playing fine. He'll probably be your best backer this year. I don't know. It's just hard to tell, how it will translate the stats on the field. But I think your linebackers will be fine. I think they'll be all right. Like to see some depth develop there. West Weeks had 4 tackles today.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's see here.
What is you think on Jacobian?
Yeah, I mean Jacobian had 1 assisted tackle.
Okay.
Real quiet day for Jacobian and Jaquelin, which we're both sitting here kind of thinking that this is the season that one, if not both of them, break out. But I think they're both taking a back seat to Mason Smith. I expect Mason Smith to be an All-American.
Well, at the end of the year, where's your pressure going to come from? Is it going to be Ali Gay and Ojulari with Savion and Quincy maybe getting in some action there? Can you get it up the center? Is it going to be evenly distributed? But I tell you what, like I said the other night, Jaquelin Roy physically, and look, he was never a kid that carried bad weight. He's the best I've ever seen him look. Yeah. It's amazing what this staff has done in the strength and conditioning program in a span of 3 months.
It is.
You can absolutely see it. And so
I'd still like to see how they build year after year after year.
Yeah. And so, but I can tell you, based on what I've seen in 3 months, I can't wait to see what they're going to look like in August.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Colby Fields, another linebacker, got out there, transfer kid, looking pretty sharp with 5 tackles today. So, no problem with linebacker. Here's what I want to know from y'all. I know not everybody got to watch the spring game because it was limited access. If you watched, who did you think was the sharpest looking of the quarterbacks out there? Because
Seth Adams says the Nuss bus is coming.
Nuss looked very good today. Very good today. He did take a sack. He is still kind of rolling out a little bit too much.
Montana, if you pulled in a Chick-fil-A, we would have to watch you sit in line. Well, that's a good thing about Chick-fil-A. You ain't in line long. Nuss looked great, right? And Oye.
Yeah, no. Nuss and Brennan both looked very polished.
Nussmeyer's getting a lot of love today.
He has he's probably got the most talented arm. And
the thing about Nuss is that he's got that gunslinger Brett Favre mentality, and when a play breaks down of the quarterbacks, is he the most prone to make a wrong decision?
Right.
And So how is he charted out throughout the spring? Today's one thing. They're not judging every position or the quarterbacks just based on what they did today.
No, indeed. I don't think Nussmeier's play today was that substantially better than Brennan to put him above a Brennan. In fact, most of the practice film we've seen, I think Nussmeier didn't look as good as
I don't
either
think
of them.
there isn't anything that I've seen in the amount of time that the media has been out there, and it's my understanding that the same goes behind the scenes when we're not there, that there isn't enough on that they've seen to be able to definitively say that one quarterback is the number one, and another guy's two, and another guy's three. That there isn't that much separating all of them.
I think the only separation you do see is exactly what we've been hoping for and recommending and suggesting all spring long, is that they're going to ease Walker Howard in. No rush. Shout out to my sponsor, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood right there.
Looks like they're boiling crawfish.
Boy, are they. They're boiling some good crawfish. Y'all go get you some Tremonti's crawfish. They cook it real well. But anyways, Walker Howard's going to be your distant fourth. They're going to ease him out there. He's thin. He's coming off of injury. You've got a lot of new guys and a lot of new places. Do you really want a true freshman out there lining up the sheep? You know what I mean? When you've got all sorts of new guys in new places, you got a true freshman left tackle, it looks like. No, you don't want him. Ease him out there. We'll see. I don't know. It's tough to tell. I would say at this point, though, your front runners are probably Jayden Daniels, Miles Brennan. I'd say probably Jayden Daniels has the leg up. I'm not sure if he's the best quarterback. I don't think he's the best, but he's probably got the heads up in the competition, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Miles Brennan is the most complete passer, but of course you have to evaluate Jayden Daniels' ability to run. He is truly an elite runner,
And that's why Ed Daniels asked the question, is there a chance of a two quarterback system? Because you can see it materializing.
Yeah.
But I know they don't want to go there.
Daniel Glenn, Walker has too much float.
I think Walker,
he's got good touch. I wouldn't say he can dart it in there if he needs to.
I'm going to say this, and I absolutely believe it, that of the four quarterbacks, Walker Howard, without a doubt, is the most talented. But he just needs time. So
yeah, just ease him out there. And I wonder if did we ever hear back if he did get rattled up or hit or whatever in this game?
I don't know what that was, but
because they gave him 2 passes early on.
He didn't get as many reps as the others.
No, he didn't. He only had 7 passes. Walker Howard was 3 of 7 for 59 yards, although 55 of it came on one throw on a wheel route to a walk-on running back. The other thing that stood out is at the end of the game, Walker Howard's in there, and you got a bunch of walk-ons and stuff in there. So he did sail 2 passes pretty badly, though, to open receivers.
All right, guys, go as soon as I drop. You stay with us all the way to dropping Preston off at his house. Stay with us. I'm about to get into the office, get Brian Kelly uploaded. Preston's got to wrap up his post-game story and loads of recruiting stuff coming your way. We're going to be reaching out to all the recruits that were there in the next 2 days. So we'll see you on the other side on tigerbait.com. Go subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Later, y'all.